Hi, our theme is Jobtech. Now, I do get asked this question a lot of times that what exactly is Jobtech? So, I'll try and explain what exactly Jobtech means in a few examples. If we look at India's situation right now, we have officially now become the most populous country in the world. We have more than 1.4 billion people. There is a term which is used which is called as the demographic dividend, right? That means that we now have the most number of people who will be very soon entering or have already entered the working force of the country. That is a very good thing. However, the same thing can become a huge liability if all of these 1.4 billion people start asking for resources, start demanding for resources instead of creating ones. Imagine if 1.4 billion people start looking for employment. Unfortunately, right now we are at the peak of unemployment in the country, close to 7.5%. So what that means is not just the government, but also the startups have a role to play in creating more jobs. We don't just need to be job seekers, but we need to become job creators. Now, some of you might be thinking that how am I going to create jobs through startups? And that's a valid question. What I'm going to do is explain through a few examples what are the different ways in which startups can end up creating jobs. Look at this. How many of you have identified who is this individual? I think some of you would have. Of course, this is Mr. Narayan Murthy, who founded this iconic company called Infosys way back in the 80s. He identified a potential. He identified that there is a lot of demand of IT services in the world, and Indians who have good communication skills, who understand English and can code and understand technology, and hence created this export business of exporting information technology services to a lot of organizations across the world. Today, Infosys employs more than 5 lakh employees, and cumulatively, it would have employed more than 1 crore people. And not just Infosys, it has created a new paradigm of companies who have mushroomed and proliferated after Infosys, such as the likes of Cognizant, Wipro, TCS, and so on. And now, information technology services has become one of the most important and one of the most sought after functions and jobs in the country. Cumulatively, they would be providing jobs to millions of people in the country right now. So that is one archetype you can think of. You can pick up an opportunity and think if this is a skill which can be exported to elsewhere in the world and create a startup around that. That is one. Look at this. I don't know how many of you would have got your haircut done like this, but I'm sure a lot of you would have got your haircut like this during the pandemic. And you're right. The one person who is getting most benefited out of this, of course, it is the customer, but the person who is actually cutting the hair. And here comes the company Urban Clap, or Urban Company, as it is now said. It may not have created new jobs, but it has definitely created a lot of opportunities for the people like barbers, carpenters, plumbers, who were earlier working in a very unorganized way to make their work more organized and of course increase their earnings substantially. So earlier, if a carpenter or a plumber was making say 5,000 or 10,000 rupees a month, now they will be making 20,000, 50,000 rupees a month. So that's another archetype. If you identify an area in which you can create a startup which will enhance either the job security or the earnings of this individual, then that's another archetype which we are looking at, like the likes of Urban Company. This, and I think now you guys would be already thinking about what the next picture is going to be, right? And you're right. Earlier, when Ola and Uber weren't there, right? So all these Kali Pili taxis you would have in a lot of these cities, the drivers were just sitting idle, playing cards and so on. Now, through this technology of mobile and GPS, here comes Uber and Ola, which is now providing jobs to millions of people, again, millions of these drivers. So another archetype is you identify a technology and use that to the advantage and create services like Ola and Uber, or even delivery boys, which the likes of Shiprocket, Zomato, and other companies like that. So this is archetype number 3. Now, how many of you are able to recognize who is this? Of course, he is Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani, and he started this iconic company called Naukri in the 90s. And when he started, he was actually selling the resumes on a floppy disk to different corporates. And only yesterday when I checked, there are more than 5 lakh jobs posted on Naukri.com as we speak. So what they have done is neither created new jobs nor increased the salaries of jobs, but done a good job of matchmaking. So then there are job seekers and then there are job providers. And what it has done is increase the efficiency of their matchmaking. Similar job is being done by Asan Jobs, Apna Jobs, and so on, which is doing it for the blue-collar employees. So if you can think of an idea which will reduce the inefficiency which lies in the market of jobs, then that's another archetype which we're talking about. So to summarize, there are these 3 ways in which we are thinking of improving the jobs market, right? One is job creation. You are creating new jobs, looking at opportunity of export and so on. Second is job improvement, in which you are increasing the job security, salary of the job seekers. And third, job fulfillment, which is you are increasing the efficiency which lies in the system of matchmaking of jobs with the job seekers. So those are the ways in which you can think of job sector and come up with a potential startup idea which will disrupt this entire ecosystem.